Hello, everyone. My name is Nate Tennant. I'm a principal product manager in our SharePoint team. I own our biz apps and automation space. So really, my goal is we're starting to bring more and more business process features that you can bring right into your doc libs, your lists. We all know SharePoint has been great at this for a while. Many of you have built custom solutions dating back to the on-prem days through, we'll say, InfoPath, SharePoint Designer, workflows. We're bringing a lot of that easy to use functionality right into DocLibs, but bringing in Power Automate's rich ecosystem of triggers, actions, and connectors under the hood. So I'm going to go through 4 areas today. Maybe we'll call it 3 areas. It's workflows in both SharePoint and Teams, the concept of quick steps, which I think will be a new fan favorite for a lot of folks on this call, and then approvals as well. This is a little bit of a repeat of our SharePoint Showcase blog from last week. Vesa, maybe you could drop the link in the chat again, just so folks have it. But feel free to jump in the chat with questions, ask me to pause. Would love to keep this interactive and answer your questions as I walk through these different areas. I'll take a break kind of at the end of each feature, and we can check for questions. So I have my nice looking doclib here. I use it for project review docs. I have all sorts of different metadata fields that I track. If you're looking closely, you'll notice there's some special autofill columns here. I've configured custom actions. We'll get to how I built those in just a second. But what I want to show first is the new workflows UX. This was highlighted in the blog last week. If you're familiar with Teams, you've actually seen some of this for a while in a preview, in the public preview rings, or in the kind of V1 version of the Workflows app. But I'm going to go into Workflows. You're going to see a completely new UX to SharePoint with a set of common templates, freshly updated for SharePoint scenarios. Things like I want to notify a channel when a new list item is added, notify a channel when files are added. Some special AI templates that are powered by Copilot. We'll check out some of those, as well as other scenarios that cover Teams, Planner, Outlook, Forms, a whole kind of template gallery of about 40, 50 templates you can check out and go in and filter by product if you want. So no more sending users out to Power Automate to get started. In the past, we had kind of a panel integration where you could create a flow and see some very similar templates, but you still had to go out to Power Automate. And so in this doc library, let's say I just want to let my team know when new files are added. I'm going to go in and use this handy template here. And you'll see immediately, I didn't have to fill out the site. It knew I was in my project management crew. It knew we were in the project review documents. I could go in and pick a folder if I wanted to. Otherwise, I'm just going to go in and select a team. Sometimes the team doesn't exactly map to the site. So in this case, I selected a team. I'm going to go ahead and say my leadership review channel. So every time files are uploaded in this doclib, we're going to get an adaptive card to show up in that channel. Just like this, I'm going to go ahead and click save. You're going to see in a few seconds a Power Automate flow, or what we call a workflow in SharePoint and Teams, has now been created. I could come back and share. I'm going to show you another one I built a couple days ago for some run history. Let's say I want to go in and change something. I could go right back, edit. Maybe I want to post to a different channel, pick a different doclib. Really simple way to create Power Automate flows that, even though it's a simple scenario, doing this in Power Automate can be a bit complex. So what does the output of that look like? I'm going to show you just to see. I uploaded some documents last night. You can see I get a alert from the workflows Flowbot agent, whatever you want to call it, and it gives me a little bit of details about the file. Of course, I can continue the conversation, reply, chat with my colleagues, or go ahead and get a link to look to that item. We also help users who might want to use that same template. They can click here and go into Teams workflows as well and add the same. So before we go, let's just take a look at the run history. I can show you. Again, previously you would have to go into Power Automate to see whether my workflow is running, when it last took effect, if it failed. You'll get some basic info here. that will help you kind of manage and run your necessarily workflows across your site. I could share it to my colleague Alex if I wanted him to be able to edit and update this workflow as well. And the cool part of this whole experience is what I'm showing you here is exactly the same in the Teams Workflows app. So you can see the global app. I have a few more templates just because I have a little bit more real estate in the full page app. Same list of workflows that I just built, a little bit different ordering of the templates, some more team focused scenarios. I do want to show you two things before I pause on workflows. We have the ability to go in and build from scratch. If you don't like the templates that are available, you can say, I want to look at when a list item is created, and then I could go in and do things like post in a message, send an email, create a planner task, create an item in ADO, or even send approvals. I can also do things that are pretty cool, like when someone reacts with a specific emoji. So really fun way to start to bring all the connectors, triggers, and actions right into both Teams and SharePoint. Last thing I'll show, one of the favorite ones I've been using in both Teams and SharePoint is I can pick a topic or prompt that I care about. And instead of going out to the Copilot app or on the web, I'm going to get that delivered either to my inbox or Teams each day. So I could say, tell me about automation updates, or I could use Vesa, your prompt of the week. I could put that in here. I could say, I want you to look over the last week, and I like to get my updates in Teams, and I want it to come every Friday. So I'm just going to go ahead and save a new AI-powered workflow, giving kind of Copilot insights right to my Teams or my inbox. Vesa, how are we doing on time? Any questions? If I pause there?
We're good on time. April, we promised April 20 minutes. Okay. So a few questions. We talked about what environments are this going to go, and they are in default. Alexander already responded on that one. Joshua had a suggestion, SharePoint rules that can send to a DL and send to Teams, send to shared mailboxes was a suggestion. He would like to have those kind of roles, and that's good input.
Yep. The default question is always the first that comes up. We are in default right now, but we'll be adding more kind of routing and logic there. We're working with the Power Platform team on that. And yep, common suggestion for rules, looking at how we can bring that to both Power Automate features. I think you can enter a DL there. And then, yeah, we've heard that about rules as well.
Cool. And then Carmen is just asking a question, was that a team site with no group associated? So does that have is it a template limited, or does it have an impact on this?
This site is I believe I made a com site and then I made the same name team site. It's a little bit confusing there, but yeah, if you do have a Teams backed group site, you can use the same thing in that workflow I showed.
Yep. Cool. And then Paul was also asking again, where are the workflow agent flows stored?
The agent flows are also in default, but they're a little bit, I don't know that they're as user visible as you would see when you go to kind of flows. They're actually similar to scheduling a Copilot prompt, which you can do in Copilot as well.
Yep. And then a final one before we go to the next demo, we'll follow up on some of the demos offline as well. But there was a good question related on so this seems to be in Power Platform capabilities. Does people need to have a Power Platform license explicitly to be able to use any of this stuff?
Yes, there is a Power Platform license requirement here. Nothing premium or beyond kind of the base Power Automate license that comes with kind of E3, M365.
Cool. That's a good clarification. We'll follow up on some of the questions then later, because I think you have another demo coming up as well.
Yes. So that was workflows. And in my same doclib, I have a column here called custom actions. Now, I'm sure people on the call have built JSON column formatted buttons to do custom actions of their own, like execute a flow or update values. The cool thing about this column is I'm actually using our quick steps feature. And so I can show you quick steps, but I want to show you a couple examples first. I have a quick step to say, I just want to mark this file for review. And what that's going to do is update the status column to review and also the owner column to me. And you're going to notice as this status column changes, some of the available quick steps are changing. And so I have another quick step built to when a file is completed, we want to move it up to our funded projects folder. Instead of navigating the move and the tree, I'm just going to go ahead and say, we're done with this one. Let's move it up to funded. And you're going to see that move happen in just a second. And so, a longtime favorite of this has been things like execute flow. We can compose an email, set value, and bringing this right into the column pane, you'll see a familiar kind of column setup panel. I called it custom actions. I can go in and say, I want to change the color of this button to be a different blue. I could actually go in and edit the entire quick step. Let's say instead of the owner to the current user, I just want to set them all to myself because I own this doclib, or I could change the quick step name. And the cool part here is I only show this when the status isn't under review, because if it's already set to under review, we don't need to change that. If you wanted to go in and actually add a new quick step, you could do it from the integrate menu, which we're consolidating down to workflows and integrate, or you can go here and say, I want to create a quick step. Things like compose email, Teams chat, execute flow, sending your approval requests. Relatively new feature, and we've seen some organic growth of quick steps, but really the value here we think is getting them right in the grid and giving you that conditional formatting. So no more custom JSON to build kind of basic actions. And the nice thing here is I can be the kind of owner editor of the list, building quick steps, and users of my list will be able to execute certain quick steps that they have the right permissions for. Obviously, if I only have read permission, I can't set a value in the field, but I could email the owner column, things like that. So really, really fun, maybe unique feature that we're excited about. You can just go into targeted release and go ahead and add a new column, and you'll see that ability to add a quick step column. I should mention workflows that I showed previously is just about into targeted release for the entire tenant. If you have a test tenant or tenant enabled in targeted release, you'll see that very, very soon. Quick steps should be available more this week if you don't see it already. Let me pause there. Face anything on quick steps?
There's a question, are the quick steps published in the tenant's default environment? So what are the quick steps? Are they visible for anybody to adjust, or how do they work?
Yeah, good question. Quick steps are not Power Platform related at all. So you can just go to integrate quick steps, and you're going to see, think of SharePoint rules as quick steps as part of the site or the list, or really the list in the doclib is where they live. So yeah, no power here other than that you can define a flow ID to run with a quick step. Good question.
And then there was a question from Joshua. Can you run a quick step based on a change on the row item using the set command or rule? So again, what's the capabilities of running the quick steps? What are the things which are initiating quick step creation? Do I need to click a button or on a change?
All manual today. We're kind of thinking about rules actually have the ability to set a value similar to a manual quick step, but quick steps are all manual today. But it does keep coming up of, hey, I want to automate my quick steps. So something we're thinking about. Cool,
really cool. And then if we missed something, we'll follow up on the questions afterward as well on the chat. I think we still have a demo, unless I'm mistaken.
One last demo on approvals. Exactly. This is a quick one. I'm switching doclibs only because I kind of run out of column space. So this is roadmap planning, very similar doclib. We have some files, folders. You'll notice these special approval columns. These are our lightweight integration with the Teams approvals app, again, backed by Power Platform under the hood. But you can go to integrate, and you'll see a new feature here we're rolling out again to targeted release just this week is I can enable approvals. That's been around for a while in your list of doclibs. But now we're giving you the ability to define per list or per library default approvers, which is helpful for users who may be coming in and not necessarily knowing where the approvals have to go. So again, as the list or library owner, I can say I want Vesa to do the first round of approval and then send to my marketing colleague Rob and my manager Ed, you get the option of whether you want users to be able to override what you put as the default. But if I go in and I say I have a new request for workspace allocations, you can see what we defined in the default is populated right here. All I have to do is give some info. I'll go ahead and submit. That'll come with the notification to the Teams Approvals app. So more and more coming around the kind of simple integration of approvals, less you have to go in and build and wire up with custom Power Automate logic. Kind of bringing simple sequential and multi-stage approvals right in line. The other cool thing here is I can go in and actually see the status and approve, reject, do whatever I need to right from the pill. You can see something that's approved. I don't actually have to go out to the Teams Approvals app if I don't want to. I can do everything right here. That is it for kind of our whirlwind tour of workflows, approvals, quick steps. Again, we have a great blog out from last week. You're going to see more in this space around AI templates, SharePoint specific templates, being able to automate and bring more of this to life pretty easily. So thank you, Vesa. I'll pause there. If any other questions, or we can turn over to
one more question related on the workflows, at least the typical question, which just for the context, there's always new people. Can these workflows be adjusted, the approval workflow? So can it be adjusted based on the customer requirements?
Approvals, as I'm showing here, the lightweight approvals cannot be adjusted. Maybe it was about the workflows and the templates. Was it more on that side?
Well, in general, if you think about customer requirements on the workflows and then initiating approval workflows, can those be adjusted? Just a typical question what we get on these topics.
Yeah. You will have a subset of the triggers and actions and then the templates here that you can use, and you define obviously the ordering of the approvals, but not adjusted per se. That might still require a custom Power Automate flow.